this year, when I go back to class, what I don't want to do is stand in front of the room the very first day and talk about myself. I'm really striving always for a student-centered classroom. I'm not fully there yet, but I really want my classroom to be more about my students than about me. So what I've been doing for years is trying to think of, what do I do on the first day of school that's not me standing in front of the room talking about myself and establishing that this classroom is about me. Instead, I want to engage students in some sort of an activity so I have an opportunity to go around and talk and get to know students by having conversations with them. So this year what I'm going to do, I think, is Farkle. So I've ordered 100 dice, and dice are really cheap on Amazon. I'm sure I could get my principal to get it for me, but I wouldn't get it in time since I've decided this at the last minute. So what every student needs is 6 dice. Now, why am I going to have students play Farkle? Because to me, Farkle mimics what the math classroom should look like. I want students to be engaged. I want them to be leaning in. I want them to be having conversations with their classmates. I want them to be strategizing and re-strategizing and asking questions when they need it rather than front-loading necessarily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to greet the students at the door with paper, because paperless is not a pedagogy. I actually love paper, and there's lots of great reasons to do it. So you can see that I have this Google Slides template that has Farkle, that you can play Farkle on it right in the Google Slides. And I will be using this a little bit, but I'm initially just going to have students have actual dice in their hands if we are in person the first day, which you never know what happens day to day. If we're not in person, I always have alicekeeler.com/Farkle slides to have as a backup. Okay, so what I want to do is I have a directions document that I share with each student. I print it out, it's double-sided, and I can only have as much directions that will fit on either side. It doesn't have every single scenario that you can have in there, which is really the point. I want them to have some productive struggle to come and say, like, okay, this doesn't work. What do you think we're supposed to do here? And that they would talk about it, and that I'm circulating, seeing what they're doing, listening to their conversations, asking questions as they need it. And then what I'm going to do is, after I go around and talk with everybody, pull them all together, we're going to do a round together, clarify some of those, and then they're going to play some more. A math class should be noisy. It should be students doing something, talking, engaging. And so this is how I want to model for them what I want the year to look like. Now, if you've never played Farkle, here is the scoring. The basic rules of Farkle is that you want to get a 1 or a 5. Basically, you want to get a 1 or a 5. If you roll the dice and you do not get a 1 or a 5, it is a Farkle, and you get 0 points and you lose the round. Now, there are other ways besides a 1 and a 5. You have to get at least 3 of a kind. Pairs do nothing for you. You've got to get at least 3 of a kind. So 3 1s is 1,000 points. 3 2s is 200 points. 3 3s is 300 points. 3 4s is 400 points. 3 5s is 500 points. 3 6s is 600 points. If you get another, so you get a 4th of that kind, then you get an extra on that. So if I had 4 6s, I'd get 600 for the 3 6s, and I get another 600 for the 4th. And if I had a 5th one, I would get another 600 for the 5th one. And if I had a 6th one, I'd get another 600 for the 6th one. Now, getting them all the same with 1s is obviously the best, because 3 1s is 1,000, 4 1s is an extra 1,000, 5 1s is another 1,000, and 6 1s is another 1,000, for a total of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 points just for getting all 6 of them. Now, what's not in the directions and what's not really clear is what happens if you get rid of all of your dice. You get another 6 dice. You get to keep rolling. The way Farkle goes is you can keep rolling dice until you Farkle. And so that's the rule I give them. But then what does that mean? Like, they have to debate that, figure it out. Does that mean I get more dice? What happens now? I want them to figure this out. And or when we come back together, they're like, what do we do? They get more paying attention to what the rules are when they had to experience it first. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do this in my slides. Now I have on alicekeeler.com/Farkle slides, I have a dice menu up here at the top. Now, the first time you do this, it will give you a warning that you're going to have to authorize. Now, you have made a copy. You are only authorizing yourself access to your own data. So don't worry about these. This is just saying you're going to be able to see and create and edit your own Google Slides. It is going to be for you. Go ahead and allow. You might see a scary screen that says back to safety. So don't worry about that. You can don't click on that. Click on advanced, and then it'll say click on unsafe because you've made a copy of it. Your copy has obviously not been submitted to Google, and it's warning you that it wasn't submitted to Google. But you knew that because you didn't submit it. So go ahead and authorize it, and then this dice menu is going to work. So first, I'm going to roll 6 dice. I'm going to roll my 6 dice. I have a 5, a 5, a 3, a 1, a 5, and a 6. So at first, I have my students just playing with dice, and they're using it with physical dice, and they're playing, they're talking, what are they going to do? And I'm going around asking them about their strategy. I want to know, what's your strategy? What are you going to do? Now, later on, we build up to where I have them, we do this in the presentation slides because this is what I want to do in math. I don't really care about your answer because you can just photo math all the answers. There's all these websites that will give you the answer. So instead, I want to know, what's a different approach? What happens when you change this? So I have to change the question so I can be smarter than Google search. So this is actually a really good roll. I have a 5, and I have another 5, and I have a 3, and I have a 1, and a 5, and a 6. Let me just get rid of that one. Just delete it. All right, so this was my initial roll. This is a really great roll. I have 3 5s, which is 500 points. I have a 1, which is 100 points. All right, so I come over here. A 1 is 100 points. And 3 5s is 500 points. Now, just a point while I'm out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will get you 1,500 points. If you have 3 pairs, you get 750 points. And then this is just showing you how the bonuses work if you have multiple dice. Okay, so coming on back here. So here's the way that this works is that you can keep rolling. You have to keep some points. You have to keep some points. So my options are I could keep the 1 and roll the other 5. Okay, why might I do that? Because I have more dice and I could get more things. Now that seems kind of silly. It seems kind of silly because I've got these 3 5s. So 500 points is quite a lot. And then I am got this 1, which gives me 600 points. Okay, so I'm going to continue here with my strategy. 600 points is a lot. I prefer at least 1,000 points on a roll, but rolling 2 dice is dangerous, right? If I roll these 2 dice, if I roll the 3 and the 6, and neither of them are a 1 or a 5, then I farkle and I lose all of my points. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep my 600 points. So here is my scoring. Round 1, I have 600 points. At 600 points, 600 points. Cool. So then I'm going to come here to round 2. I'm going to go to dice. I'm going to roll 6 dice. And I have a 3, a 3, a 2, a 4, a 5, and a 5. Oh my gosh. Woo! I have 2 5s. So 2 5s keeps me in the game. So I have a 3, and I have a 3, and I have a 2. Oops. I have a 2, I have a 4, and I have a 5, and I have another 5. All right, so my choices here, the 3, the 3, the 2, and the 4 are just junk. They don't do anything for me. The pair of 3s does nothing for me. I have these 2 5s. So my question is, do I keep 1 5 and roll the other 5, or I keep 2 5s? So my strategy is I want 5 of a kind. I cannot get 5 of a kind if I only roll 4 dice. So you see what I'm trying to do is model with my students is what kind of arguments and strategies as opposed to just saying what I did. I'm going to do this because this is why I think this will work out better. And so using the dice is a lot lower scariness, right? We're not throwing a math problem at them. We're playing a game. So we can have these mathematical conversations and our strategies through playing this dice game. And then later, I'm going to connect this is basically how we want to look at a math problem. And one of the things that I always require students do is that they do it at least 2 ways. If you can only do it one way, then you know an algorithm. You don't actually understand the concept. So I want to build number sense and say, okay, well, what's another way to do it? Or what happens if you change this thing, that we focus on the ideas and the number sense rather than just trying to replace being a calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep only the 5. Okay, so I'm just going to keep the 1 5, so that gives me 50 points. And so now when I come up here to the dice menu, because I have kept 1, that gives me only 5 dice left to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 5 dice. Oh, whoa, that's actually really good. So I have a 1, a 3, a 6, a 6, and a 6. So I have a 1, a 3, whoops. Okay, I have a 1, I have a 3, I have a 6, I have a 6, and I have a 6. Oh, this is actually kind of a dilemma, right? Okay, so now what I've got is I've got 100 plus 600 plus 50 equals 750. I prefer 1,000 points, but rolling the 1 3 is risky when I have set. I mean, 750 seems like a lot, but it's early in the game. It's so tempting because, 3 6s is really good. But I'm going to go ahead and duplicate my slide over here. Control D, duplicate, because I'm going to need some more room for my strategy. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I am just going to, I'm going to keep the 1 and the 3 6s. I am going to keep the 1 and the 3 6s and roll the 3 again because I need a 1 or a 5. And then I get 6 new dice. Okay, so this is definitely a strategy move. If I roll this 1 die and it is a 1 or a 5, I get 6 new die. So I get to keep going and I get a lot more points. If it's not a 1 or a 5, I'm going to circle and I'm going to get a 0. So let's just do this. I'm going to roll my 1 dice and roll the die. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm super lucky here. I rolled a 5. Let me grab this 5 down here. I rolled a 5. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my scoring board. So I'm going to drag this down. Here's my scoreboard. So I have, I had 50 points and I added to that 600, 700 points. Okay, now I just got 50 points. and I get 6 new dice. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this screen. I get 6 new dice. Okay, that was super risky, but a 1/3 chance. I have 2 out of 6 of getting a 1 or a 5. It felt worth it to me. So I'm just going to kind of bring this guy down here just to give myself a little more room. I'm going to get rid of these text boxes up at the top. All right, Come on. Whatever. Okay. Use the menu. Now I get 6 new dice. So I'm going to roll 6. I have a 4, a 1, a 3, a 2, a 1. Oh my, I'm having like my best day ever here for reals. Okay. So I have a 4, I have a 1, I have a 3, I have a 2, I have a 1, and I have another 1. Okay. So I have 750 points plus 3 ones is 1,000 points. I do not want to risk my 1,750 points. Now, what I can do is I can re-roll the 4, the 3, and the 2. I could do that, but I'm pretty content with my 1,750. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say 1,750 is my total. And so my running total is 1,350. Okay. All right. Let's go down to round 3. I'm just going to drag my scorecard. Just keep moving my scorecard down. So I'm in round 3. There are 10 rounds total. You do have to get a minimum of 250 points to go to the next round, or before you can stop, rather. You're like, I'm good. Okay. So I'm going to roll my 6 dice. I got a 3, a 3, a 6, a 1, a 6. Okay. What did I get? It's going to show up right up here. So I have a 3, a 3, a 6, a 1, a 6, and a 2. Okay, so this 1 is worth 100 points. Those pairs make you think you have something. I'm sharing my thinking. I'm sharing my strategy, not just my answer. The 1 is only worth 100 points. I need a minimum of 250 points. Okay, so I'm going to re-roll these 5 dice. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these. Just going to keep the 1. Okay, so I'm going to go to the dice menu. I'm going to choose 5 dice. I have a 6, a 4, a 6, a 2, and a 6. Woo! That's very exciting. Okay, so I have a 6, a 4, a 6, a 2, and a 6. Okay. So then 3 6s is 600 points. Do I want to roll the 2 junk dice? Okay, so right now I have 700 points. If you farkle 3 times in a row, you get a penalty of 500 points. So I haven't farkled it all yet, but I think I'm going to just leave the 700. I'm just going to go with the 700. And so that gives me 2,050. Okay, to the next round. Dice. I'm going to roll 6 dice. 5, 1, 4, 4. Oh, this is so exciting. I don't know how I'm playing so well. This is amazing. Okay, so I have a 5. I have a 1. I have a 4. I have a 4. I have a 1. And a 4. I've played Farkle a lot of times, and you can see how excited I get about these dice rolls. No student is going to be clapping and super excited that I went over the syllabus. So I'm going to save that. It doesn't need to be done the first day. The first day I want to have students really engage and demonstrate what a math classroom looks like. So I'm going to save that for later. Okay, wait. Yes, I have 3 4s. 3 4s equals 400. 2 1s equals 200. And the only reason is because each one is worth 100 each. And then the 5 equals 50 points. And I get 6 new dice. Woo! Okay, I'm going to come over here to the left side, and I'm going to duplicate this because the placement of the text box at the top is based on how many dice you roll. So I don't want them to sit on top of each other. I go dice, 6 dice. Okay, now I could get a Farkle. I mean, it is risky. I didn't have to get 6 new dice. I could have been fine with my 650 points. I'm not excited about 650 points. And I got 2, 2, 6. Oh, geez, I did Farkle. What happened to my Farkle? I must have accidentally deleted it. I'll steal it from up this one. Okay, here's my Farkle. Copy. Farkle. Okay, a 2, a 6, a 6, a 4, a 4, and a 3. I farkled. That means I get 0 because you have to roll points. You have to roll points. So I'm just going to press spacebar in these text boxes I didn't use. Don't lose points unless I farkle 3 times in a row because that's bad. Okay, so I farkled. That's no good. All right, let's go down to round 5. I'm going to roll my 6 dice. 2, 1, 2, 1, 6, 6. Okay. 2, 1, 2, 1, 6, 6. Okay. Only the ones count for points. My strategy is to only keep 1 1 so I can get a 5 of a kind. So I'm actually going to delete all of those. And so it gives me 5 dice that I can roll. I'm going to roll 5. 2, 1, 1, 2, 5. 2, 1. What happened to the 2? 2, 1, 2. No, 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1, 2, and 5. Okay. All right. So, the ones. Two ones and a 5. That's 250 points. Okay, my strategy is to keep 1 1. I know this sounds nuts, right? I'm going to throw away my 1. I'm going to throw away my 5. I'm throwing away 150 points because then I can get 4 of a kind. I have the more dice I roll, the less likely, right? The more dice I roll, the less likely I get Farkle. Now, this is exactly why I don't want to demonstrate this first to my students. I first want them to play first. Engage, explore, explain, extend, evaluate. The 5 E's model is first I engage students. Hey guys, we're playing with dice, and I let them explore. They may or may not do it correctly, and research says that's okay. They don't necessarily learn it wrong. Because we're number 3, we're going to explain it. I'm going to have the students explain it. I'm going to explain it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to correct this. But we want to start with engage and explore. So if I said the more dice I roll, the less likely I get Farkle, and then I gave them the Farkle dice, well, then I've done the thinking for them. And that's my goal to avoid this year. As Joe Bowler says, it is not my job to rescue you from thinking, to rescue the students from thinking. So I don't want to do the thinking for them. I want to try and annoy them with questions. What do you think about this? What happens if I do that? And use poker face, no matter what they say, if it's right or wrong, that we just keep the conversation going. It's much more interesting when we don't get it right because, of course, you're thinking, and let's talk about your thinking. Okay, so I'm going to delete all of these. And I'm going to roll 4 dice. 5, 3, 2. Okay. All right, so I have a 5. So that's good. Now here's the problem. I'm going to duplicate this. The reason is I need more strategy space. I only have 250 points. Actually, I think I can stop at 250 points. Does it say here? No, I have to have a minimum of 300 points. I have to have a minimum of 300 points. So I cannot stop. I cannot say, oh, I'm good with my 250. That is not allowed. You can be good with 300. So I have to roll. I have to roll. All right. I have to roll a third. Okay, so these down a little lower. I'm going to go to dice, and I'm going to go to 3 dice. I'm going to roll 3 of them. Okay, I have a 1, 4, and a 6. I have a 1, 4, and a 6. Oh, accidentally moved that. Okay, 1, 4, and a 6. Okay, so now, third roll, I have 100 plus the other 250. I have 350, so I can stop. Oh, I had Farkle last time, and I do not want 3 Farkles in a row. So I will take the 350 points, and mostly because I'm a big chicken. Wrong row, that's for a salmon. Okay, so that is 350 points. Compared to my scoring guide, I got 350. And so that gives me 2,400. All right, cool. Move my scoring card down. And dice, 6 dice, 1, 4, 4. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Okay. 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4. Oh, it's like the best game ever. Yeah. Now, if I Farkle, which happened to me last time, I get nothing. So this is 100 plus 100 plus 400 plus 400 for the fourth 4. So that's 1,000. It can happen to get Farkle with 6 dice, but less likely. So let's roll. So dice, 6 dice, 5, 3, 2, 2, 6, 5. Oops, you see how that was right on top of it? Oh, just move it down here. Okay, so I have a 5, 3, 2, 2, 6, and a 5. I have 2 5s, but I will only keep 1 and keep rolling. All right, I'm going to keep that 5. I'm going to get rid of all the rest of my dice. It allows me to roll 5 dice. Dice 5. Okay, so I gotta, it's gonna show up right here. 4, 5, 1, 2, 5. All right, so 100 plus 50 plus 100 more seems good, but I want to keep only the 1. I'm going to duplicate this just because I've got it over here on the side. I just need some more room. I need some more strategy. Duplicate it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep the 1, 1. Okay, so that gives me 4 dice that I can roll. So I'm going to roll 4. Oh, that was a Farkle. Dang it. See, I was feeling confident. And that didn't work. So, all right. I Farkled, but I do not have 3 Farkles in a row because you get a penalty for that. Okay. Move my card down. All right, this is basically how you would play. There's a total of 10 rounds, and I just want to have students practice, probably do this for at least 2 days and come back to it a couple times through the years. Is talking about how do we share ideas, share our strategies, not necessarily just what is the answer.